just like that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do that. We just need to do that more often, man.
Yeah.
And
week now.
Yeah. Well, for now. And we are live. What is going on, LBHT crew? Yeah. We started a little late. It is what it is. All right. It is what it is. All right. You guys don't like it in the comments. I see y'all. Appreciate you coming through though, man. Just Alo's here says, "What up, LBHT crew? I hope everyone is doing well." Shout out to you, Just Alo. Appreciate you coming through. The Juan 100 says, "What up, fam? LFG. Let's freaking go." I cleaned it up for you. Yes. Jada 6. Yeah, okay.
And listen.
The clock emojis, the watch emojis.
If you're sitting in the chat and you're like and you're waiting for the show to start at exactly 7:15, at this point, it's kind of on you, isn't it, Jay?
Thanks for coming through, Jay. I appreciate it. Coach is here. What up, Coach? Coach, yes.
What's going on, Coach?
You had a question about the about draft day.
No.
Yes. We'll be there.
He didn't have a question about draft day.
Yes, he said it on his show. You don't watch his videos. I watch his videos.
I was here waiting to start this show.
We verbally commit, but there is a question about that.
We didn't commit to anything, Coach. What are you talking about? What draft day show?
we submitted questions.
There is. That's why I was confused. There is a submitted question about it, and it's not from Coach.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. All right, we'll address it in the submitted questions.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I didn't answer the submitted questions question. I didn't answer that.
Okay, but that's the coach's question is more pressing because now you talking like you.
That's why I'm answering it now, somewhere. So he knows. He knows later.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We don't answer that question without consulting. Okay, there is no answer yet.
All right.
What's up, Osmond?
What's up, Osmond? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you.
Lord.
I mean, look, man, I can't leave coaches in suspense. This is exactly the grief that we gave Ferris last week.
No, it's not.
Right? It is.
It isn't.
We asked him why Sugar isn't going to be on the anniversary show, and they're trying to make it a surprise, and we peer pressured him into spilling the beans.
No. Both, Jay. No, this is not the same at all.
Jay said without consulting or consent. All right. Look,
you see what Coach is doing now.
There we go.
You see this?
Right. Handshake emojis. That's right. All right.
I'll enjoy that then.
Hey, it's always fun. It's always fun. Okay. Look, we'll answer. We'll talk about it in the submitted questions section. Okay. But yes. Tracy, what's going on, Tracy? Thanks for coming through. Says hello, my friends. Glad to be here. We are glad that you're here, Tracy.
What's up, Tracy?
All right. We got to do the intro. All right. We got a lot to discuss. So, B, you ready? B, are you ready? Are you frozen? Or is B frozen or am I frozen? Oh, God. Let's go first. Can y'all hear me or can you hear B? Uh-oh. B's gone. B is frozen. Okay, B is frozen. That's terrible timing. All right, well, luckily I know how to hit the intro. So I'm going to hit the intro and hopefully B will be back on the other side. Okay. What is going on, LBHT crew? B. Wait, where's B? He's still not here. Well, we gotta start the show without him, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. Obviously, this is exactly why we keep saying we need to get off this platform. Um, this is the last week. We said that for like 3-4 weeks, but this is the last week. All right. Hopefully he'll be joining us here pretty soon, so I can fix this screen. I can't fix it on this side. But listen, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. Look, he's back.
That's right.
He's back. I already hit the intro. I hit it for you. I had your back. All right.
I'm pretty sure I hit that button before my internet decided it was going on vacation.
You didn't.
I tried to.
You tried to. All right. But we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit that like button, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. What are you laughing at?
What's wrong with Jay?
That's all, Jay.
It's a Brandon's like, maybe if I sit perfectly still, he'll do the show without me.
B loves doing this show. Okay. Jared's in the house. What's going on, Jared? Appreciate you coming through.
What's up, Jared?
Yes, we are streaming live on those platforms. Hit that follow, subscribe. All right. If you are listening to the audio form of this, we put this out on Thursday at lunchtime. So we hope you're enjoying your lunch break. Make sure you leave a 5-star review. Also, I want to put it out there right now. LBHTShow.com. Right after this donation from Hendo. Shout out to Hendo. Oh, okay. Timing. What did Hendo say?
He said his favorite show on YouTube. Thank you, Hendo. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I don't even see him in the chat. You know why? Because he's supposed to be working.
No, he's off now. We started late. Yeah.
Oh, see? Yeah. He just now. Okay.
There you go. See? Okay. Now you owe him an apology.
No, I don't.
See. That's messed up. All right. LBHTShow.com. Go there now. All right. What we got? We got about 25 people in here. That's right, Hendo. You're off now.
Yeah.
Go to LBHT Show. Go to LBHTShow.com. Put your email address in the little box. Sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter is coming.
Yeah, listen, I'm not big on newsletters. Okay, y'all know that. I don't like to click on stories. I don't like when people email me. All right, unless I purchased something from you and you were sending me a tracking number, I don't want to hear from you. But the newsletter is looking pretty hot.
Right? It is,
and there may be surprises for those who sign up and participate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is going to be somewhat interactive. Okay, it's not just a newsletter that's just going to be filling up your inbox. All right, you're going to have links to the whole, everybody in the crew, the Roundup crew. All right, what's going on? So you don't have to just. I mean, yes, you got to subscribe and turn on the notification bells, but the notification bells, they're not great. Okay, sometimes they tell you when something's going live or something is premiering. Sometimes they don't. But the newsletter, we're gonna put their latest videos. We're not gonna put all the videos, but we'll put their latest videos in there. Stories. There'll be, like we said, some interactive stuff in there. So make sure you check it out and spread this to your friends. All right, we need that. LBHTShow.com.
Thank you to Adelia again for helping us get that on the right track.
Yes, salute to Adelia. Thank you so much. What's good, Big Reg? Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Osmond, did we get Osmond? Got Jeremy in the house. Kim's in the house. What's going on, Kim?
What's up, Kim?
Appreciate all y'all coming through. All right. So, okay, all right. We gotta get into this because we have a lot of things to cover and we do not want to be here for 2 hours. All right. So we're gonna get into it. We got something really to break down, the draft history of the Ravens. We're gonna really break it down, and I want you to visualize this. Okay, I think it's important to discuss this going into the draft in a couple of weeks. Let's see, Jared. I cannot pronounce that last name. Jared S. says, expose the Ravens draft process. Hey, you know what, Jared? Look, I put exposed in the title. Okay, to get your eyeballs on this. I'm just going to let you guys decide. All right, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. We're gonna talk about the Panthers' secret weapon. Huh? Yeah. And some other sports news. Okay. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. and B, and is Okole back from
Yeah, Cole fine.
okay, Okole's back from vacation. All right. So B and Okole have a Black History fact for you.
This week on LBHT's Black History Fact. On April 9th, 1939, Marian Anderson stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and delivered a performance that would become one of the most significant moments in American history. Anderson, a highly respected African-American contralto, had originally been scheduled to sing at Constitution Hall, but the venue's owners, the Daughters of the American Revolution, DAR, refused to allow her to perform because of her race. Their discriminatory policy sparked national outrage, prompting First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt to resign from the organization in protest. Determined to support Anderson, Roosevelt and Secretary of the Interior, Harold Ickes, arranged for an outdoor concert at the Lincoln Memorial instead. That Easter Sunday, Anderson sang before a crowd of over 75,000 people, while millions more listened on the radio. Her voice filled the air as she performed a mix of classical pieces and spirituals. But it was her rendition of "My Country, 'Tis of Thee" that resonated most deeply. The performance, set against the towering figure of Abraham Lincoln, became a powerful statement against segregation and racial injustice. With unwavering grace and dignity, Anderson challenged the barriers of the time, proving that art, talent, and humanity transcend prejudice. Her concert marked a turning point in the fight for racial equality in the arts and beyond. It inspired generations, including a young Martin Luther King Jr., who would later return to the same spot to deliver his "I Have a Dream" speech. Anderson's perseverance and artistry paved the way for future Black performers, opening doors that had long been shut. Decades later, in recognition of her contributions, she became the first Black singer to perform at the Metropolitan Opera in 1955, and received numerous honors, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This moment was not just about music. It was a statement of resilience and a demand for change. Anderson's voice echoed through history, proving that courage and talent could shatter the walls of discrimination.
All right. I like the way that landed. I got a little nervous for a second, but I didn't hear the music. I was like, what's it gonna do now? But
Listen, I double checked on that, and I had the correct music there, but I was not 100% confident to go with it.
Just Al says he misses scary music. That'd been perfect for a Halloween time, right? But no,
That's when we used it. I don't know how I got onto
no,
the newer videos.
that's not. No, it's the same music. It just slowed down.
Well, man.
It was a glitch, but it's fixed now. All right. Osman says we can use a performance like that again today. I hear that. Killer's in the house. What's up, Killer Cam? Says hola, Jose. Hola, Killer. Appreciate you coming through. And also, mucho gusto, Brodny.
Nice to meet you, Cam. Appreciate you coming through.
Yes. We got Jay says secret weapon. You don't know? You don't know?
He knows. He just don't know. That's how secret it is.
It's yeah. You know, they're making you forget. Like Men in Black, just they flash something in your face and make sure you forget because they don't want anybody to know. But all right, we're gonna start out with the Ravens draft history exposed. Okay. And it was exposed by Jeff Zrebick, the man that you all know and love. You all love Jeff. All right. Jeff is cool. You know, he stays on top of the Ravens stuff. But no, look, this isn't a got you thing or anything like that. But he did do an article in the what is it now? It's not. It's still the athletic, or they
Yeah,
call it something else now.
it's the Athletic.
Okay, in the athletic, and he's basically he broke down all of the he basically ranked the positions. Okay, in terms of how he did in the draft, post Lamar, right? Post Lamar being drafted in 2018. How do all the draft classes look by position? And he ranked it from the worst to the first, so 10 to number 1. Okay, who was the worst? What's the worst group? Worst position group drafted, all the way to the best position group drafted. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And look, we have soured on EDC over the years, and I think rightfully so. And we criticize him on a lot of things. This is one of those things, but I just want you guys to look at it for yourselves. And this isn't a bash EDC thing, but I want to look at all the players we've drafted over the years, and let's just kind of assess.
Before you do that, though, I have a question for you.
Yeah,
What is the best nation?
donation. Hey, shout out to Tracy. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Tracy. And she said, "Love those Black History facts." Thank you very much.
That's what I'm talking about. And Zeke has entered the chat. Salute, Zeke. Appreciate you coming through. Evil Smarty, what's going on? Says David Ojabo better be number 1. Well, it's a group thing. Okay, maybe he strengthens the group. I don't know.
Oh,
James Six says United Nations.
what evidence you seeing of that, Jay?
All right, so I'm going to let me, because I didn't add them to this one, but
okay. Well, let me just switch the scene real quick, and it'll play this stinger, and then we'll go. You did the other.
No. I can add it right here. It's fine.
Okay.
We're on the right thing.
Okay.
We're on the right thing. No, I got it here. So we're gonna start with number 10. This is Jeff Drabick ranking these. Do I have number 10 here? Yep. Okay. This is by position. Okay, for each position group from 10 all the way up to 1. So this is the
relative to the rest of the league, correct?
I'm guessing. Yes. Relative to the rest of the league. How do we do? So number 10, this is an obvious one. Quarterback. And let's blow this up a little bit. Let's blow this up. Quarterback. Okay, these are who we drafted. Trace McSorley in the 6th round, 2019. Devin Leary, 6th round, 2024. We don't put,
Either terrible and even worse.
Yeah, but we don't really put much stock into it. We have Lamar Jackson, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So they haven't really put a focus. You're not going to put a focus on drafting, a quality quarterback, because they're hard to get late. If you're in a round where you can get a quality player, it's not going to be quarterback for the Ravens.
Well, I'll tell you this: maybe tell that to the Carson Wentz led Philadelphia Eagles who drafted Jalen Hurts.
Well, I mean, that was for obvious reasons, right? There are some other things going on there where they understood that he cannot be a long-term solution for us. Okay, so that is number 10. Number 9. I should have added these all ahead of time, but I didn't. That's okay. We'll get it right. If I can see it. All right. This is either number 8 or number 9. This is number 9. Outside linebacker. So Ajabo kept them from getting to number 10. All right, there you go. This is. I mean, we talk about it, right? We talk about how many picks they spent on edge rusher, because these are edge rushers for us, and how we still say we need edge rusher. And here are the picks. Jalen Ferguson, rest in peace, 3rd round, 2019. Odafe Oweh, 1st round, 2021. Dalen Hayes, 5th round, 2021. David Ojabo, 2nd round, 2022. Tavius Robinson, 4th round, 2023. Adisa Isaac, 3rd round, 2024.
Well, 2020 was the only season that they did not draft an edge rusher in.
Yeah.
And yet you still need multiple edge rushers.
Well, okay. And also the chat, I want to know, how do you feel about this position? Ranked 9th? I mean, look, I think Owe did well last year. You could say, yeah. I mean, he got his sacks in bulk, right?
Hmm.
But I think overall, he's a player that we knew was a raw player, and he's going to have to develop. And I think he is developing. I think he's played well enough for us to re-sign him. I think we should re-sign him like now before he thinks about hitting the market. Um, I don't think that's no. He's not Suggs, right? But I think he's a solid player, and they just need to use him. So I don't think that's a bad pick. Ojabo, hey man, second round pick. He's been hurt. I just don't. I mean, I don't know.
Y'all was in our chat for years, plural, talking about James Prochet needed opportunity. So I don't want to hear it on David
Th-
Ojabo.
but that's what I'm saying though, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Adisa Isaac hasn't even gone on the field yet. Like we do this on the offense all the time. We're doing this with Voorhees right now. I don't understand the faith that people have in Andrew Voorhees, but you don't want to roll out with Jabo or Adisa Isaac, second and third round picks. That boggles my mind. And it's always us when we get to this point. It's it's the opposite when these guys get drafted. We say, hey, that's not a good pick, and we're hating it. But when we understand that they need to develop, y'all don't understand that they need to develop. You don't want them out there, and we're saying no, they need to play. They got to show us what they can and can't do. I don't think this is necessarily a weak point for the team. Like you gotta let guys play.
Counterpoint, very weak. Very, very weak based off of the amount of capital that they've spent there and the fact that they
Yeah,
are still unhappy with the position. I agree with you that Owe is a solid player, and but every time we talk about the draft, everybody says you'd have to draft an edge because Van Noy and Owe are going to be gone next year. And okay, Van Noy's old, right? I get that. He might just retire
yeah,
next year. Even if they maybe they don't want to bring him back, but he might just quit. He might just be done.
yeah.
Owe is coming into his prime,
Yes,
and that's why I always look at it and I say, well, why would Owe be gone? He's a double digit sack guy. You drafted him in the first round, right? Why would he be gone if your GM is such a great GM and doing such a great job? Because on the flip side, Daniel Falalele is going to be gone after this season. His contract's up.
you brought that up the other day, and I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, Andrew Voorhees has 2 years left on his deal. Tyler Linderbaum has 2 years left on his deal, counting the player option, or not the player option, the team option.
Team option. Yep.
So, I mean, we can make the exact same argument about the urgency on the O line as the D line, but the fact is, people don't really believe in Owe. They have no faith in Ojabo. Despite liking the pick and having not seen him at all, people have lost faith in Adisa Isaac. People have lost faith in Tavius Robinson, even though he's played, okay in the chances that he's gotten. But the reality is that people don't look at this group and see any long-term answers. And
Yeah.
you spent a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and I think another third.
I mean, okay. I think obviously Owe, not great, but he is good enough, right? We talk about good enough. You guys don't like it because you saw the 40 time. It's only because of his 40 that he ran, right? He ran a 4.340. In your mind, you thought it was another Elvis Dumerville moment, right? That's what you thought. You thought this guy was just going to be getting after it. It was only going to take a few games for him to get into the swing of things, and he needed a lot more work than that. But he's okay, and he might be even better these next couple years. They invested a first round pick in him, right?
Mm-hmm.
They picked up his option, right? His 5th-year option.
I don't think they did. I
Oh,
don't
they
think
didn't.
so, but I'm not 100% sure. The chat, let us know if they picked up always option. I cannot remember.
But my thing is pay him, keep him, because you definitely don't want to pay. They can love Falele all they want. They don't want to pay Falele. They don't. You don't want to pay Voorhees, right? And those are the positions where it impacts the game a lot more, right? Because they're protecting your quarterback. You have to get that right. If edge rusher isn't quite right, it's not as much of an impact.
Yeah.
We still
But then,
led the
yes, he did. I completely blanked on it. This is his 5th year.
5th year. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they picked it up. And pay him. Pay him. Like he's further along than our two guards. Right.
And you know what? And he's gonna look real nice on a mid-level contract in that rotation in Carolina next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Adrian, we're gonna bring you up in a second. I'm gonna pull up the next position here. Give me a second. So we're only at number 9. We'll move this along a little bit faster. Let me add this. So that was number 9. Number 8. This is another. Oh Lord. You know what? All right, we're gonna bring this up and then we'll bring up Adrian. Number 8. Cornerback. Okay. This is this I want your chat. I want your opinion on this. These are the cornerbacks that have been drafted since 2019. Iman Marshall, 4th round, 2019. Brandon Stevens, 3rd round, 2021. Sean Wade, 5th round, 2021. Jalen Armour Davis, 4th round, 2022. Demarion Pepe Williams, 4th round, 2022. Caillou Blue Kelly, Big Regis guy, 5th round, 2023. Nate Wiggins, 1st round, 2024. TJ Tampa, 4th round, 2024. All right. So keep that in mind. We're going to bring up Adrian. Go ahead, bring him up, B. What's going on, Adrian?
Yo, fellas, what's good? Y'all hear
What's
me?
good with you? Yeah. You're coming in a little loud, though. Coming in a little loud.
Oh, my bad.
That was a lot of names that you read there. Not a lot of play at cornerback, but a lot of.
Did you hear the list, Adrian?
Yeah, the list was horrendous. What I heard.
So, we talk about how defense wins championships. You want to invest in defense. We spent a ton of picks on defense. I'm not seeing the return on investment. All these corners, but they never got an opportunity. Hey, but again, I'm about to make the same argument for some of these guys. So brace yourself, okay? Jalen Armour Davis was drafted. What year? 2023, 2022. Let me bring it back up. Is it this one? Nope, not that one. Where'd it go? It disappeared.
No, we're on a different scene now.
Oh, I gotta add it again.
Yes.
Oh, well, thanks for that. Okay, so here we go. Brandon Stevens, 2021. Pepe Williams, drafted in 2022. Okay. Jalen Armour Davis, 2022. He's been on this team since 2022. We're in 2025 now. This is going into his 3rd year, right? 4th round pick.
4th year for Armour Davis.
4th year. I'm sorry. 4th year. 2022, 23, 24. You're right. 4th year. It's time to play. Right? And if he's not good enough, why is he still on the team? They cut Pepe Williams. Right? So Jalen Armour Davis, yes, he might be hurt, but there's got to be something there that they like. He's still here. You want to keep him for depth? You can get anybody off the street for depth. Right? So it's time for him to play. TJ Tampa, 4th round pick. Okay? These are guys that you drafted and you saw some potential in them. You decided to go that route over, offensive linemen, other positions that we need as well. Let those guys play. They're still on the team. They didn't go and trade for anybody, that's an established player. They didn't go and sign anybody in free agency. So we should not be using.
Yes, they did.
Oh, yes, we did. That's right. We did. My bad, Uzier. And that's a solid pickup. I think that's solid. But we should not be looking in the 1st round to get another starting outside corner. I'm sorry. You've drafted way too many corners for me to say we need to go and draft another one. And if we think these guys can't play, hey man, we say things about EDC that y'all don't like, but these are the guys that he picked.
Listen, like, yeah, everybody in the chat has looked at these lists so far, and we're only on number 8. So, quarterback was awful, edge was awful, corner is awful, but y'all keep telling us that EDC can draft.
I'm not even saying they're awful. I'm saying give some of these guys a chance. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you got to definitely give Owe a chance. He got. I don't care how you got him. He got 10 sacks. How you gonna not give? How you gonna say don't give him a chance? Right? You got to keep him. Give Ojabo a chance. Adisa Isaac, has he played at all? You got to give him a chance. Right? I'm saying give Jalen Armour Davis a chance. Give TJ Tampa a chance. That's where I'm at right now. Before I'm going to sit there and say these guys are straight bums and we gotta replace them now. Now let them play. All right. What are your thoughts, Adrian?
I feel like Pepe looked better than Armour Davis when they were both playing, and then they cut him, and it seems like Armour Davis got injured, and then they wouldn't play him. They went off the street and they picked up Tre'Davious White. It's like, why are you picking up White off the street when you drafting guys to play corner? They're not seeing the field. At some point, I do agree with the chat. You got to give guys an opportunity to prove that they can do it or they can't do it. Because then if they go out there and they don't perform, at least I don't want to see these guys catch on with another team and then actually show out. But one thing about it is when guys leave the Ravens, you typically don't see them turn into superstars. Most of the time, you don't see them turn into quality starters.
No. And now, listen, there's a reason for it, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yes, yeah. House and Hendo, they're saying the same thing. Jalen Armour Davis, they like what they see from him, but he's always hurt. That's an issue. Isn't that the same exact issue with Voorhees? And no, it's not the same exact issue. My bad. We can't even say that he can play. Right? We just know that he's always hurt. And when he got to play a little bit, he didn't look good. Right? So why is everybody just cool with him just being penciled in as a starter?
All right, let's move along here to number 7.
All right, number 7. Let me get this ready. So that was number 8. That was cornerback. Number 7 is running back / fullback. All right. Justice Hill, 4th round, 2019. J.K. Dobbins, 2nd round, 2020. Ben Mason in the 5th round, 2021. Tyler Beatty, 6th round, 2022.
It's actually Bidet.
Is it?
I think so.
I thought it was Batty.
It's not. We ruled out Batty. It's not Batty. I thought it was Beatty, but it could be Bidet. I think it's Beatty. And then Rasheen Ali, 5th round, 2024. All right, those are the picks. We haven't really put. It's crazy. It's weird. It's higher up. You know why this is so high up? Justice Hill. Justice Hill had an excellent year last year. Right.
Yeah.
Made some clutch plays. Like we didn't really invest that much into this position. Outside J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins, great potential, man. He's somebody just. I hate to see him get hurt, man, because he's one of those players. I can see why teams keep giving him a chance because even when he has devastating injuries, he still comes back and balls out.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I feel like he's going to do it again next year. But it's that injury wherever he goes. Yeah, wherever he's at. But it's unfortunate. I cannot fault EDC for that one. I think that was the absolute right pick. Excellent player. He just got hurt, and it happens.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to number 6.
Moving on to number 6. That was running back / fullback right there. Number 6 is wide receiver. How you guys feeling about this? Well, okay, I'm gonna read this list, and then we're halfway through. I want to know how you guys feel about this list so far. All right, the picks: Marquise Hollywood Brown, 1st round, 2019. Miles Boykin, 3rd round, 2019. Devin Duvernay, 3rd round, 2020. James Prochet, 6th round, 2020. Rashad Bateman, 1st round, 2021. Tylan Wallace, 4th round, 2021. Zay Flowers, 1st round, 2023. Devontae Tez Walker, 4th round, 2024.
Okay, so that was 7 picks there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Or
8.
eight picks. Okay, 6 of them are misses. So, I mean, it's not. It ain't great, Bob. Right? Like, listen, Zay can play. Zay's a good starting wide receiver. Rashad
Yes.
Bateman has developed into a decent receiver.
Yep.
It took 4 years, so that's not great for the first round pick. Hollywood's a miss because he could play,
Yeah.
but he was about the 5th best wide receiver in that class, and you took him first, and you got rid of him on his rookie deal. So that's a miss all the way around.
Yeah.
And then obviously, Prochet and Duvernay and Tylen and and Devontae. So those are all misses so far.
I would rank this position last, dead last, as far as the number of cracks that we've had at wide receiver. And like you said, B, the number of success stories is 2 max. And Bateman is like a 0.5. Zay is a definite 1. I'm not saying he's the number 1 receiver, but he has lived up to expectations, in my opinion, at this point. Nobody else has even come close, other than Hollywood when he was here. And he forced his way out. At least we got Linderbaum in that Hollywood trade, so that's one positive that came from that. But no, I would rank this position dead last, honestly, just because we had so many attempts.
Well, I'm not sure if you saw number 10. Number 10 was quarterback. That's, by default, it's got to be last. We don't really put the effort
But come on, but come on, man. Like, we've had Lamar Jackson for what, 8 years now? Like,
yeah, but this is just solely on draft picks. This isn't like how we doing as a whole. It's just solely draft picks. And this isn't our rankings. This is just ranking the draft the positions drafted since EDC took over, right? So like just looking at the draft picks, yeah, I would say quarterback is the worst position. You know
I mean,
what I mean?
McSorley is at least still in the NFL. You only got 2 guys
Is he
picked
still
at
playing?
QB.
I don't think he is. I think he's gone now.
He was in Arizona for a while. I guess they cut him.
I think they cut him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was still in the league as recently as last year, I believe. But
he lasted for a while.
But my thing is, nobody's expecting the Ravens to do well at quarterback right now. As far as drafting.
Killer Cam, you can't be blaming the Liz Frank injury or blaming his first 4 years on the Liz Frank injury. Listen, his first 18 games he had 800 yards. Rashad Bateman. His next 16 games he had like 300 yards, and then he had 750 or whatever it was last year. He's been underwhelming. Like, he's a first round pick. You expect more production than that. Period. For the amount of time he's played.
Yeah.
He's not awful, but you can't pretend that he's lived up to the draft position.
That's not what you expect when you draft somebody in the first round. All right. It's just not. All right, moving on to number 5. Number 5, offensive line. The picks.
3 bends right off the jumped out at me.
This is a lot here. Ben Powers, 4th round, 2019. Tyree Phillips, 3rd round, 2020. Ben Bredesen, 4th round, 2020. Ben Cleveland, 3rd round, 2021. Tyler Linderbaum, 1st round, 2022. Daniel Falele, 4th round, 2022. Salah, 6th round, 2023. Andrew Voorhees, 7th round, 2023. Roger Rosengarten, 2nd round, 2024. Nick Samac, 7th round, 2024. That's a lot of picks. And how do we feel about the offensive line? I think we definitely need 2 guards still. Okay, and I don't want to hear. I'm sick of these apologies. I'm sick of these gatekeepers, these EDC defenders in our comments telling us, "Hey, Falele is the starter. Get over it." No, you get over it. He sucks. Okay, we hope he can get better. He's not going anywhere. We hope he can play better. That's not somebody that you're gonna put all your faith in. You damn sure not gonna put your faith in Voorhees. Okay, like you have 2 needs there. If you're trying to show up this team and make sure you got guys that are proven, then you need to be honest about guard position. We need 2 guards that we know can play, not hope can get better, that we know can play. And all those draft picks that you just saw on the screen there for us to say we have two glaring needs. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, it's another position where he's taking a lot of swings and there's a lot of misses. Uh, I'll give him credit for being self-aware and knowing that he needs more picks to kind of, you know, get a decent group onto the 53 there.
Yeah.
But he's just not hitting on these guys. And the O line is especially egregious. And again, the problem with Baltimore, one of the problems with Baltimore is they refuse to fully utilize the other tools for player acquisition. Like, you can go through trades, you can go through free agency, and you can go through the draft. They only really want to use the draft, and they're not particularly good at it.
Osman is absolutely correct. We need both tackles and guards because we need a swing tackle because
Well,
accurately points out what if Ronnie or Roger goes down. Excellent question.
I would say that Rosengarten was a pleasant surprise last year. He held down the right side a lot better than I feel like a lot of people thought he was going to do. However, my problem with EDC is he hoards all these draft picks and he's not aggressive enough to jump up and get a guy earlier in the draft. Because if you're waiting on a guy in the third round to be the starting left guard or right guard, you're probably not going to hit there. I mean, he just hasn't shown a propensity to be able to take a third or fourth round guard and make him a legitimate starter.
Well, you can get guards later in the draft. Typically, your guards aren't going to your starting guards aren't going to go in the first round, right?
You can, he can't.
Right.
That's the
And
thing.
we used to hit on these, and I can understand. I mean, this is why I'm trying to figure out where the disconnect is because Ozzy is still in the building. When Ozzy was GM, he could get a guard in the fifth round, and you thought he was going to be a Pro Bowler, right, or All Pro, at this point. But it's just not working. The formula is not working. Whatever he's doing with his scouting, or the final decision that EDC makes when picking these guys, or just the development on the coaching side, is just not producing on the field, and that's just a lot of picks. But like I said, I just want to put it out there. We put it on the screen so you can see how these positions are breaking down. That was number 5, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Number 5. All right, so we're gonna go to number 4. We're gonna push through this because we got some more stories to discuss here. Number 4 is inside linebacker. First round, 2020, Patrick Queen, Malik Harrison, also in 2020, picked in the third round, and Trenton Simpson, third round, 2023. That's it.
I mean, I guess 1 for 3 here so far. I mean, Trenton Simpson's still, the jury's still out on Trenton, but we can't say it's a hit at this point. Malik Harrison was a miss, obviously, and Patrick Queen, he's a decent enough player, but again, not a guy that you necessarily wanted to have in that first round.
Yeah, and he walked, and we just got a comp pick for him. We didn't get anything else, right?
For Harrison?
No, for PQ when he went to the Steelers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even trade him. You're right. I think that's a little high, right?
Well, it's not high because he sucked worse at all the other positions. He hit on 1 of 3 here. That's 33%.
All right, we'll go back and review later. I don't know. That's
he ain't hit 33% on any of them other positions.
PQ. I mean, let's be real. PQ had he had a little bit more success than OA.
Okay, but again, you knew that coming in that he was very, very inexperienced and he needed a little more time. But he was playing much better than Owe his last 2 years in Baltimore, last year and a half.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like PQ also put us in position to have to give Roquan $100 million because if he stepped up and was the franchise, or at least a top end middle linebacker, we wouldn't have made that trade to get Roquan.
I'll tell you what put you in that position. It's your fetish for defensive players. All right, because nobody thought it was a good idea to trade a second round pick for him and give him $100 million.
All right, moving on to number 3, tight end. And this speaks volumes of how high this is on the list here, with only 2 picks at this position,
And neither
and
one
that
of them
is
was starter.
both in 2022. Right, Charlie Kolar, he was picked before Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
They're both in the 4th round though, 2022. Charlie Kolar and Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely, pretty good. I think Kolar's pretty good too. Right.
The second tight end you pick is always better than the first tight end you pick. Why don't you just pick the
It is.
second and first? But whatever.
Right. Yeah, it was Pitta, and who was the other one that we got that year?
Dixon.
Yeah. From Oregon, he was picked. Dixon was picked first, and then we got Pitta second. He ended up being better.
Yeah, well,
That's true.
Wasn't Aaron Hernandez picked before Gronkowski?
Yes.
No, I mean Gronk was there before Aaron Hernandez was. I don't think they weren't in the same.
No. Gronk was picked first. Hernandez fell because he had a lot of
I thought they were the
issues.
same. I thought they were the same draft, maybe.
I don't remember for sure.
I think Gronk got picked first, and then they went back and got Hernandez because he was, people weren't sure if he was going to pass drug tests. They weren't sure if he was, some of those pending cases we're gonna fall through or not. They weren't sure, so a lot of teams took him off their board.
Drug tests were the least of their worries.
But for the Ravens, yeah, you had Dixon and Pitta. You had Andrews and Hayden Hurst, right? And now Kolar and Likely. That might be the key, at least for that position. Draft 2 of them. One of them's going to be a star. All right. So, all right, that's 3. Man. Okay. We're getting down to 2, which is... Where's 2? There it is.
Oh, yeah, they were in the same draft. Gronkowski 2nd round, Hernandez 4th round.
Yeah. There you go. Number 2 is defensive line. The picks: Dalen Mack, 5th round, 2019. Nnamdi Madubuike, 3rd round, 2020. Broderick Washington, 5th round, 2020. Travis Jones, 3rd round, 2022. And I say this is a pretty good group here. Madubuike obviously is going to really blow this up, right? But Travis Jones is a good player. Dalen Mack didn't work out, and Broderick Washington, okay, right?
Yeah,
he's okay.
I mean, I know everybody's upset about last year, but you can't pretend like it wasn't a good pick when you re-signed him anyway. When you re-signed him to begin with, you went to him and gave him the contract extension because he was I believe a 5th round pick, and he outplayed that. And he got his contract, and maybe he took 1 year off. Right?
I think for some of these guys, right, they have really good years in the system, and we switch coaches, and it's not a completely different system, but he does coach differently. Is that talking about Zach Orr? And for guys that aren't, they're not superstars. They don't have this great talent, but they could play in your system well. They do certain things well, and they're not put in those positions. Yeah, they can look like they could take a step back. I don't think these guys are bad. I think they're just learning a new system, learning a new coach, and we'll see this year.
I wasn't a fan of Madubuike's contract extension. Not at the time, and certainly during the season. He had a great year. The year before last, when McDonough was DC. Last year, he took a step back, but I didn't see him as a guy that was demanding double teams. Like, if you talk about a D tackle getting $100 million, he needs to be that type of guy, And I think that he's definitely above replacement level. He's, fringe Pro Bowl caliber, but he's not a superstar to me. And I think we could have afforded to allow him to walk, but obviously the Ravens won't let defensive players walk at this stage.
Well, and that's fine, and I agree. They shouldn't. I mean, we said on here every single week they shouldn't have re-signed Madubuike leading up to them re-signing Madubuike. But this is just a question of whether or not he's a good player, and he's a good player.
Yes.
Whether or not he deserves that contract isn't part of this discussion. He's a good player, particularly for where he was drafted. He's far outplayed that position.
Yeah. All right, and the number one position, safety, with just 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I messed this up. There we go. Okay. Geno Stone, 7th round, 2020. Kyle Hamilton, 1st round, 2022. Sanusi Kane, 7th round, 2024.
I don't know how I feel about Geno Stone being on that list since y'all cut him before that breakout. But that's fine. He had a great last season in Baltimore. Kyle Hamilton, I think we all think is an extremely talented player, one of the better defensive players in the league. Sanusi Kane, I mean, we'll see. Y'all keep telling me you need another safety, so you can't like him that much.
Can you see us on the screen? I think I messed up the screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, I just messed it up on my side then. Never mind. Chat, can you see us still? If you can't see me, then I messed
Well,
it
you
up.
still have the safety thing up, so.
Okay. But you can see everybody?
I mean, it's covering us. But there we go.
All right. Cool. All right. Chad, what do you think? What do you think? These are the picks that EDC's been cooking with, okay, since 2019.
Well, what number one tells me is we've drafted one superstar since 2019, and that's Kyle Hamilton. And you think about it, that's what, 7 drafts, at least 6.
7, yeah.
So 7 drafts, average of what, 8 picks, 9 picks. You talk about 60 picks, one superstar. And just imagine 60 picks for Ozzy.
Give him Linderbaum.
Well, six picks. I'm sorry, 6 picks. This will be the 7th. This will be the 7th.
So it's been 6 drafts.
Draft. Yeah,
6 drafts. The Ravens get roughly 9 picks per draft. So they've probably had 55 draft picks, 55 to 60 picks in that time frame. One superstar in that time frame. Then we think about Ozzy. The first 2 guys he drafted are Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
I mean, how many?
It's
just hard to live up that.
Yeah. It is. It is, and people like to compare him to Ozzy, which I don't. He's not. He gets a lot of praise, like he's Ozzy. He gets the credit of being one of the best GMs in the league. He's not. And this just puts things in perspective. Like I want you guys to look at this list, man, and like Adrian said, Kyle Hamilton is the only real superstar on this list.
Yeah, just look at Howie Roseman's picks since 2019. Like, go through that. I bet you see 5 superstars since 2019 for the Eagles. Yeah, that's the top of the line GM.
Killer says not good, not horrible. A little better than bad. Okay, is that what you expect from a great GM? You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm asking. DJ Amp says, the Ravens have had 11 a draft. We've had a lot. I think we got 11 this year. Kyle Hamilton is a great player, but the value of a strong safety is overrated. There you go.
And I see you guys saying that Harbaugh is might be to blame more than EDC. And what I would say to that is both things are true. They're both a problem. Like Adrian mentioned before, you don't see Baltimore Ravens going elsewhere and blowing up. It's not like these guys are hidden superstars. And I see you, DJ Am, talking about Darren Waller. That wasn't on Baltimore. Darren Waller was a drug addict in Baltimore, and he needed to leave. And thank goodness he got himself cleaned up and he got to play. But that wasn't on the Ravens. I mean, we're not putting that on Harbaugh or anybody else. But the Ravens, they don't really go anywhere else and blow up. So I'm not going to say that it's a problem with Harbaugh holding him back. It's a problem with the players that you're picking, right? And I think that the real thing that we talked about earlier, where people don't want to give these guys a chance, is because of where you are in the league. You're in a point where you should be competing for Super Bowls, and no, I don't want TJ Tampa starting a corner if I don't have any idea how good he is. I don't want these guys who haven't proven anything to be starting on a team that's supposed to be competing for a Super Bowl. I don't want that on offense either. But the problem in Baltimore is, again, they only use the draft to the fullest extent. They don't go out and trade for guys. They don't go out and sign or fill needs in free agency. They put it all on the draft, and then they kind of don't let those guys go out there. They're like, "Oh, we don't really trust you. You know, you're a rookie fourth rounder. I can't just put you out there. Let me go find a 36-year-old edge. Let me go find a corner who hasn't really been good for a couple years and see if we can harken back to the old days. You know,
All right, real quick. We got 60 people in here. Hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'm gonna ask this question, and I'm gonna plug plug a couple things. But I want to ask this question. Who is we named a lot of people? Okay, all the positions we named a lot of people. How many difference makers? And this is not a gotcha question or anything like that. I just want to know how many difference makers. Kyle Hamilton, difference maker, right? Matt BK, difference maker. How many can you or do you think have been difference makers for this team? Right. I'm just curious to know how many players are difference makers.
it's real.
Well, it's not a gotcha question, but I am going somewhere with it. But guys, LBHTShow.com. Go there. Sign up for the newsletter. You go on the site, scroll down a little bit. It'll be a box that says sign up for the newsletter. Put your email address in there. This is it's gonna be a fun newsletter. Okay, you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna keep you connected to the whole crew. All right, the LBHT crew, the roundup crew. You want to know what's going on with everybody. It will be in that newsletter. We'll have some little interactive stuff in there for you guys as well. We're going to keep you up to date on the latest things going on in the sports world. All right. So LBHTshow.com. Go sign up. It is coming soon.
I don't, man. I honestly can't say that they've drafted any difference makers. Because for me, to be a difference, you have to be that consistently. That has to be every year, right? Kyle Hamilton wasn't a difference maker last year. They were the worst pass defense in the league through the majority of the season. Like, he didn't make any difference out there. I mean, I guess if you want to look at Tyler Linderbaum and say, hey, he's solidified that position, they'd be much worse off without him. I guess that's a difference. He's a difference maker in that way.
Yeah.
Matt BK, same thing. He's not a difference maker when you go out and you're getting the 13 sacks the one year and cutting it in half the next year. And again, not to say that he didn't play well, but if you're talking about difference makers, I'm thinking Chris Jones, Aaron Donald, Miles, those kind of pass rushers. And he's not that. Marlon Humphrey has been that on and off, but obviously Eric DeCosta didn't draft him, so
no, yeah, he didn't.
But yeah,
I think Marlon Humphrey is definitely a difference maker.
I would say 0.
Well, that's a telling thing about the list that you just put up, Jose. Safety was the second best position drafted, at least by Drebeck, right?
As number one.
Yeah, it was number one?
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, right. Safety was number one. The second best safety since 2019 is probably Darius Washington, who wasn't even drafted by the Ravens. I don't even think he was drafted at all. But you went out and pick up Marcus Williams, give him $70 million. He's not even on the team anymore. Geno Stone, he has one good year here, and then he bounces and he goes to Cincinnati. And just think about what their safety position has been through with the Ravens. We haven't found any real consistency there other than him.
So that's kind of the point, I wanted to make with this. The reason why I asked is because all these opportunities to gather these draft picks and get more chances to get these guys, in the draft. There's so many players that fall and all this stuff, and you get guys late in the rounds and all that stuff. Okay, fine. We haven't done it. Now's the time to change the mentality and say we have to trade up. I don't care if we have to give up 5 picks. I don't care if we got to give up some future picks. Trade up and get a real difference maker, right? If you're saying, I don't care what position you say we need. You say we need another safety. You say we need another corner, edge rusher, wide receiver, whatever. Sitting at 27, it's possible we can get it, but it's not a guarantee. We're relying on some luck. We're relying on a player falling to us that shouldn't have fallen, right? That's not strategy. That's rolling the dice. That's playing the lotto. Take matters into your own hands. trade up and get somebody that you know can be a difference maker. I don't care. I don't care about if we do it in the first round and we don't hit on anything else. That'd be better than most draft years, right?
I can make the argument that the only reason that DeCosta and Harbaugh have a job is they were lucky enough that Lamar Jackson fell to them at 32
Yes,
because they passed on him with the first pick. They picked Hayden Hurst, right?
yes.
So imagine if somebody had the guts to pick Lamar right there. Where is this franchise and where is this team right now? Who has
I
any idea where we are if we didn't pick him up in 2018?
I absolutely hate when they tell that story about when they drafted Lamar. They tell it like it was like they it was their master plan to go and do this. Man, that was one of the dumbest moves. Not drafting Lamar, drafting Hayden Hurst. One of the dumbest moves Ozzie ever made. Like Ozzie gets a lot of credit for that draft, and he should because he drafted a lot of really he drafted a generational player and a lot of really good players in that draft. But he almost made the dumbest move ever. You drafted a straight up bust, right? You passed on Lamar, you traded back. You passed on a lot of players. He traded back, passed on a lot of players that could have helped this team, and you drafted a straight up bust who was already older, right? And because Steve Bisciotti said quarterback, and he wanted Lamar, and he pushed for it, they traded back into the first round and got Lamar, right?
Yeah. So I'm looking at this comment here. Garnet, what's going
What
on?
up, Garnet?
He says, Kyle having a solidified role as an actual free safety changed the whole complexion of the defense. And I want to ask you, was it that? Or was it playing teams like Cleveland, Houston, Pittsburgh, the Giants, the Chargers, the Pittsburgh Steelers again, and then you had the one game against Philly, which they lost in that second half of the season? Was it him playing free safeties, or were you playing a whole bunch of bad quarterbacks? Because if it was him just getting that solidified role, why do y'all need another safety? You have you have the same safeties that you had last year.
I mean, I'm not going to argue that point. I think Kyle Hamilton is a difference maker, right?
And that's fine. But what my point to that is, if it is that, and Kyle's that guy, and putting Ardarius in there, made that difference, and you have Sanusi Kane, who you're like, why do you need another safety?
Yeah,
I
agree.
Because they want Kyle to play that hybrid linebacker position, that Troy Polamalu, not true free safety position where he's on the line of scrimmage. So they get another deep safety. Then he's free to play how he played in McDonald's system, which is when he actually played his best. Was not this past year, but the year before.
But to B's point, why don't we have that already? We have Sanusi Kane. We got Bo Braid. We got Ardarius Washington. Why don't we already have that position on the team already? Why are we still saying we need to go and get another safety? Because when people say we need to get another safety, they don't mean in the 5th round.
No, they say first round.
They mean first or second round, right? That's what they're talking about. They're talking about Malachi Starks.
Yeah, from Georgia, right?
Yeah. Why do you need him? You know what I'm saying?
Because we don't have that guy. That's why.
Right. So I just listen, Malachi Starks ain't falling to us. If he's as good as people will say he is, he's not falling to us.
Y'all keep saying this. Ali saying the reason we need a safety is because Washington is going to be gone next year. Why? Sign him. What do you think happen? When you draft Malachi Starks, he's going to be gone in a few years too. Kyle Hamilton's going to be gone in a couple years, right? Sign your good players. Why would he be gone?
Yeah, you can change that. You can do something about it. You don't have to let them walk out the door. You can sign your players. If Ardarius Washington is good enough, you sign him. If Kyle Hamilton is good enough, you sign him. Because I hear people saying Kyle Hamilton, is probably going to be gone. I don't know if we can afford him. That's the other thing too. Why don't you guys like paying players? Not you in the you got to chat, but like I hear a lot of talking heads. Ravens talking heads talk about, this guy priced himself out, or he's not going to be back. We can't afford that player. If he's good enough, you pay him. If he's not good enough, then start taking that a little bit more seriously and finding somebody that is good enough. Right? We have a window. It's still open for, I think, a few more years. Right? But you have to put a core around Lamar that's going to be here. Can't keep having these moving pieces. guys that we got to bring in and develop and hope they play well in their last year before they go and get paid. That's not really trying to win. That's just maintaining. Get guys that you know can play. They're paid or they're under contract for at least 3 years, so we can make a real run at this. Right? Darius Washington needs to get paid if he's good enough. I think Owe needs to get paid. Stop trying to find somebody that through the draft, and you don't even want to pay him. You want to find somebody in the draft that we hope we hit on. Pay Owe, let Adisa Isaac play, let Ojabo play.
I can't even believe what I'm reading in the chat right now. Like, what are you talking about, Evil? Maybe the Ravens should build around their star players. Crazy, I know. You get out of here with that.
Yeah, Ali. Yeah, he agrees with us. Ali says, "I wish things were that easy with EDC. He should pay him. They will say they had to pay."
Hamilton. Darius Washington is not going to make anything. Safeties don't make a lot of money. So if you want Darius Washington, you can keep Darius Washington. There's nothing that's going to stop you from that.
Yeah. Deshaun says they always say we need a corner or a safety, but no other position. That's what I'm saying. We don't need corner. I don't want to hear it. You saw how many cornerbacks we drafted. It's time to use them. Right? It's time to use them. And if we're still saying, hey, come on, guys, you know, Jalen Armour Davis isn't good enough. You know, TJ Tampa isn't good enough. Man, come on, what are we talking about here?
Yeah,
why are we giving them props for picking these guys? Why are we pumped about having 11 draft picks in this draft when we know they're not going to hit? I'm sorry, Adrian. What were you saying?
Yeah, my biggest thing with that is you draft all of these cornerbacks and then you don't play them. But then when free agent cornerbacks become available, we're never in the mix for any of the top guys. You don't want to pay any of those guys. You don't want to make a trade. So if everything has to be through the draft, then you got to give the guys who you draft the opportunity, because we don't even know that these guys can play, half of them, before they leave here, because they never saw the field. I forgot that we even drafted Caillou Blue Kelly. Did he even see the field? How often did he even see the field?
He never did it multiple. He got cut before the season.
He saw the field as often as I did. Like, put these guys on the field, man, and see what they can do. If they're not good enough to get on the field, that means that you're not drafting well enough.
To be fair though, to Caillou, everybody else has cut him as well. So
yeah, he was cut. He was cut.
But this goes back to the main point about the whole EDC conversation. If every year you need corner and edge and O-line and arguably wide receiver, you still need that. You still need to do that as well. If this year you need that, last year you needed that, next year you need corner, edge, O-line. What you actually need is a new GM. That's what your need is.
The only reason I brought that up is to make the point of, and I know EDC is not going to do this. I'm just saying, when we say he needs to throw all his chips in and do something extreme and really move up in the draft and get somebody, right? I'm talking about give up your first, second, third, give up next year's second, third round, like throwing a lot of picks, throwing 5, 6 picks or whatever to move up and secure somebody that is that guy, whether it's offense or defense. Okay. Do it this year, because all we're doing is wasting our picks. I don't care. I mean, you can love this team. We love this team. Like, but nobody's excited about these picks. Nobody's sitting here saying like, man, killed it at this position. Glad we got him. Right? I hear a lot explaining going on. Well, see, well, what had happened was, well, if he had stayed healthy, well, if this, right? We get a lot of that. That's not good enough.
Yeah, Mel Kiper is going to give us an A+, and then the majority of them guys never going to play for us. I think the Ravens really killed it this year. The second round guy is, he's a blue chipper. He fell because of injury concerns, and then the guy's never going to play, because that's really what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, Ali. He said Philly's GM hits in the draft a lot, so I guess EDC is the problem. It ain't just Philly's GM. Kansas City's GM. Detroit's GM, San Francisco's GM. The teams that are
Rams
always there.
GM.
Yeah, the Rams
GM.
GM.
And that's without first round picks. Well, they got them back now.
Yeah. All right. We're done with this. Let's talk about the Panthers' secret weapon.
Let's talk about the secret weapon for the Panthers.
Let's talk about a team that's ascending instead of a team that's wallowing in their own mediocrity and is going to waste the career of one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen.
Hold on, B. Hold on. Okay, because we invented zigging when everybody else is zagging, but nobody has zigged more when everybody else is zagging than what the Panthers just did. What did they just do? I mean, mind blowing. Okay, what did they do, B?
Don't laud me, big cuz. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you're not wasting Lamar's career. Anyway, the Carolina Panthers, they went out. They said, you know what? I know that there are some very good tight end prospects in this draft, or even one that we could take right there at 8 in Tyler Warren. I know that there are veteran tight ends available for trade, like Dallas Goedert. I know that there were guys available in free agency as well. Nah, that ain't for us. We're going to go out and we're going to get a 6'9" basketball player who's never played football, and we'll coach him up. Okay? Now, I don't remember the guy's name because, again, he's never played football and he's going to get cut before the season starts. But he put out some videos of him running routes and catching passes.
Is Colin Granger.
Didn't even need to know that. All right,
6'9", 225 pounds.
But he put out some videos, okay, of him running the routes, catching passes in the end zone, jumping up, snatching the ball from imaginary defenders. There weren't any defenders there, but he was snatching the ball from them. All right, now and listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw these videos, it took me back. It took me back to when I was scrolling Twitter and I was watching Des Bryant. I was watching Des Bryant cook them community college corners he paid to be in his videos. All right, and
the students.
I'll say this: Jay pointed it out as well in our Discord. My man looks slow off the line, but you know what? He's never played football before, and he's just out there practicing. So who knows? But what I'll say is this: you want your team to be open-minded and looking everywhere for talent, right? Most of the time it's a waste of time. Like when you go and you sign a rugby player, you go and you get a sumo wrestler, try to convert him to an O-lineman. Most of the time it doesn't pan out. But you want to be taking those chances just in case, right? But with this one in particular, if you're that confident in your ability to develop someone who's never played the game before, why don't you just focus that attention on Jatavian Sanders? who was a rookie last year, who actually showed some ability and is coming back because it's only his second year in the league, and maybe just coach him up.
Yeah,
you know why? You know why, Jose? Because you can't teach 6'9". That's why.
But is he the only former basketball player that? I mean, you couldn't get a little bit more.
Hey, listen,
athletic?
Antonio Gates. That worked out better than anything in the history of football.
It did. That's my point. Like, y'all couldn't do better than Colin Granger.
Hey, you know what though? No.
And by the way, D Weezy, I was about to bring this up. He's converting a sumo wrestler into lineman worked for Washington Sentinels.
And the replacements starring.
Oh, the replacements. But hey, it's Chris. What's up, Chris? Salute.
Hold on, Chris.
Thanks for coming through. But speaking of sumo wrestlers, I saw that video. I think I showed it to you, Adrian, of when Micah Parsons went to Japan.
Yeah.
With
and that sumo wrestler laughed like he was a little toddler.
It was CJ Stroud, right?
CJ Stroud, yeah.
Yeah.
And CJ Stroud's like, I'm not getting in there with them. And Micah Parsons like, oh, I'll move him. That dude, and that he was 18 years old. He was 18 years old.
He laughed at Micah Parsons like that was his little cousin.
Now, Micah Parsons got his moments. Like he got moments where he moved them, and they're like, oh yeah. But that was a kid.
Yeah.
That was a kid. That wasn't the ones fighting for Yokozuna. Okay, all right. That wasn't one of those guys. But man, and I know it's different. You got different foot technique and all that stuff. But when I saw that, I was just like, can we teach him a little how to play guard? Can we teach him how to pull? Can we teach him a couple of things? I feel like that might be something you might want to experiment with a little bit. Because I'll tell you what, when sumo wrestlers put their feet in the ground, they aren't moving for anybody. Mm-hmm. And Aaron Donald wouldn't have moved these guys. Okay,
Aaron Donald because Aaron Donald will be out there knife fighting.
I mean, he might have gotten over on that kid, right? But one of those grown ass men, nah, bro, no. So I don't know. I feel like sumo wrestlers, we might have to explore that. We might have to take a trip to Japan.
How do you convince it like they're gods? How do you convince them to come over here and play one of the least glamorous positions in sports?
How much that kid weigh? Yeah, he made Michael Parsons look normal.
He was at least 350, I would say.
Yeah.
At 18 years old.
But Michael Parsons, I mean, he was like, "Wah!" He's trying to go at him, and the dude just laughed.
he caught him and he laughed, and he patted him on the head. He's like, "Good try, little buddy." He said, "Keep lifting, you'll get there one day."
We said 6'9", he about to be a secret weapon for the tush push.
6'9", he about to be trying to catch on with the G League squad.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, what are the chances of him making the team?
All right, look, Carolina's a real bad team, real bad. I fully expect them to draft a tight end at some point. In a couple weeks here. They already re-signed Tommy Tremble. Jatavian Sanders is coming into a second year. Like I said, I think they'll draft a tight end. So the chances are 0. He's not making the team. They just need something to do.
You know what? But okay, it's we're joking about this. This is all fun. Doesn't hurt to try him out.
It doesn't hurt right now. That's fine.
It's making news, but the reality is this: there are a lot of players that you never hear of. A lot of people that get tryouts. I notice because I used to play for a team in Baltimore. Shout out to the Baltimore Sharks, and all those guys wanted was just a call from the Ravens, or at the time the Redskins, just being invited for a workout. Right? They play their asses off, right, to get to a point where scouts will come to these games, ask about a player, coach will talk them up, and they get a call from a team just to get a workout. They're not going to make the team. But getting a workout validates their skills. Okay? They either want to get a call from the Ravens, from Washington, or get an offer from a indoor league. Some of them went to the arena league. All right. But these teams work out a lot of people. They kick the tires on a lot of people. People that have absolutely no shot. But hey, man, this guy's tall. He's athletic. Yeah, and maybe he goes in there and surprises us. Yeah, they maintain the list.
Yeah, like Tony Gonzalez, he played college ball with Jason Kidd at Cal, and he's a Hall of Fame tight end. Nobody would have thought that when he was coming out of college. So once in a while, that actually does pan out, a guy coming from a different sport. And I heard LeBron James was a pretty good receiver. And
or something like that.
Yeah, people said that he had the ability to play tight end in the NFL. I don't know if he was tough enough for that, but that's what they say.
Man, listen, LeBron could have done anything. Like, that's, special talent. You know what I mean?
He could have played for the Browns, probably.
The Browns have had some great tight ends.
Yeah, it's true.
Kellen Winslow.
Yeah.
Kellen was great for a year or two.
Yeah, Antonio Gates, Daniel Franklin. Yep. Randy Moss. How tall was Randy Moss?
6'5" or 6'6".
But he was a Mr. Basketball.
Yeah, he played with Jason Williams, White Chocolate in West Virginia. I think they won a state championship.
People will tell you Allen Iverson was one of the greatest football players they've ever seen.
They said he was better than Michael Vick.
Mm-hmm. And they lie. People lie a lot. Let me tell you something. Nobody lies more than a high school sports enthusiast.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Randy was 6'4". I always thought he was 6'5". I guess he was 6'4".
But that's tall in football. That's
Yeah,
that's really
and
tall.
that's the thing. Like this dude's 6'9". He's gonna line up. They're gonna hike the ball, and he's gonna get speared right in his chin one time, and he's gonna quit.
But if he doesn't quit, he's tougher than they thought, and he can high point a ball. Game changer.
If he can do that, sure.
Probably not. But that's why you kick that. That's why he can get a workout.
That's why you try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You put him out there. You just signed Trayvon Moehrig. You just brought back a couple other guys. Man, have him go out there and just run jump balls against your DBs. And if he catches them,
But that's the thing. That's the thing. They had to have the strength and agility to get off the line, though. I think because if that was the case, just get a tall guy. You have 7-footers out there playing tight end.
That's why I don't listen to people when they say, "Oh, let's get a big guy and be the red zone threat." Like, well, there's a lot of big guys, and none of them are red zone threats.
Right?
Like, it's a skill, right? It's not just about the size. So, well, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, best of luck to him. And he's out there. He's trying something brand new. So, you got to give him a little time to get practice in, and I'm sure he'll be there at rookie camp and just see what he can do. But I'm not expecting anything out of this secret weapon.
Me neither. All right, we got to do court of public opinion. But first, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right, that's where you can find us. After this show, we'll be on the overtime show. And I was going to make this court of public opinion because this man he gets under my skin like no other. Stephen A. Smith. He's at it again. All I can say is please don't listen. When he's talking sports, he's going to talk his gibberish, man, whatever. It's entertainment. When he talks politics, please do not listen to this man. Please do not listen to this idiot.
Like
right?
in this quote, he just straight up admitted that he didn't even know what he was talking about.
He's talking politics, and he said it while he's talking that he's made up the numbers that he's discussing, but he still went on with it. But that's dangerous too, and that's why I don't respect him. Mm-hmm. Okay, but we're gonna go over all that in the overtime show. I have a lot to get off my chest about this man, but I wish y'all stop listening to him. I'm just gonna be real with you. Like I just wish y'all stop listening to Stephen A. Smith. He's a clown. He's a detriment to our community. And I can't stand him.
Detriment to every community. I mean, let's be honest.
I can't stand them. I can't stand them. And patreon.com/LBHT Show if you want to argue with me or if you want to agree with me. Okay, come check it out. And a bunch of other shows. We talk about a lot of things on the overtime show. It's not going to be like a one topic thing. That's just kind of how I start things out. And Shug says, "That's right. Keep our community safe." That's right, Shug. But yeah, check it out. It also give you access to our Discord, which is a lot of fun. All right, and if you want to spend a little bit more than $5. You can get an LBHT crew coin. All right. So check it out. So patreon.com/LBHT Show. Somebody asked about how do you give memberships there. I need to start dropping a link. There's a link you can go to. I think it's patreon.com/LBHT Show/gift. And it works kind of like how you guys gift these memberships here. You just pay for how many memberships you want. And you send a link out to people. Or if you want, drop it in the chat and say, hey, first come, first serve. You can do that too. All right. So that's a great gift. And another great gift, which is 100% free, LBHTShow.com. Sign up for the newsletter. It is coming out soon. It's the only, if you sign up to other sports newsletters, you can unsubscribe from them or keep them, right? Put them in your junk, whatever. But this is the one that you want, all right? It's clean. It's going to be fun. And you're going to enjoy it, okay? So sign up. Should say he'll drop the overtime show link. I know you will. Yeah. I know you will, Shug.
I knew that Luka felt a certain type of way about Dallas. I knew he was going to have a good game, because they're back in Dallas for the first time tonight. My man has 31. He's 6 for 8 from 3 assists and 3 steals at halftime.
Yeah. I knew that. They knew that.
Luka the Don.
That is disgusting.
Are they still banning people from wearing Luka jerseys?
Well, I that was just a rumor.
That was debunked.
They said that Dallas fans have taken to wearing Luka Laker jerseys to the games, so that's
Oh, good.
all right.
They
All
are,
right.
they also predicted a loss of revenue in the hundreds of millions when they could have just paid Luke the hundreds of million that he earned actually.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
whatever.
I agree. All right. That's going that's going to be its own video. We got to discuss that. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, this may not be a real court, but it is the court that you need. Court of public opinion starts right now. All rise, all rise. Court is now in session. B, what do we have?
This is an open and shut case, if there ever was one. So I'm not even going to bother with the poll.
Well, I do have evidence to submit for this as well, but go ahead.
Wait. Oh Lord, I can't even believe I read that, DJ. I'm not putting it up. I'm not discussing it. This is regarding some college basketball. Honestly, some tragic news in college basketball. If you don't know, the Final Four was recently held in San Antonio. The first round of the Final Four, Houston played Duke, and Duke they went down. They lost the game, and
he's a Duke fan. If you don't know,
no one was ever the same. My boss sent out an email at 12:30, midnight 30, talking about go Houston. I almost sent him my letter of resignation at 12:35. But shortly after the game, University of Houston legend and Houston Rocket legend Akeem Olajuwon
the dream
tried to get on the court, and some dude said no.
All right, we have video evidence of this. Let's take a look at this. There's no sound. We'll just narrate over it. All right. Why did the background change? Did the background change on your end?
It did. I don't know what you did.
And
you got to put the video up at the top so that it's in front of us.
I didn't do any of that.
I know.
I didn't do any of
that. Because we're witnessing it right now, so that's how I know.
Do you see it? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So
that very tall man in red right there is Akeem Olajuwon, who looks very upset and confused because that dude in the suit said, "No, you can't come over," and I'm just going to look away and pretend you don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And this third gentleman here is telling him, "No, this is Akeem Olajuwon. He can come on the court." And the other guy kind of looks away and he's like, "I don't know. No."
No, I don't know how to get. Oh, here we go. I don't know what happened with the background, B. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
But if you can fix it, you can fix it. Nope.
Well, I mean, I partially fixed it. I don't know why you're saying I don't know.
I see the Cash App sign on the screen.
Yeah. But go ahead and talk. I got to find the right thing.
But basically, like B said, this is an open and shut case. All right. There's no excuse for not knowing who Akeem Olajuwon is. If you work security for a basketball game, yes, you can make the argument. Hey man, he's doing his job. They told him don't let anybody up. Okay, he wasn't on the list. But part of being in security, being top flight security, situational awareness. A very tall man wearing all red. He's older. He looks like he's about 7 feet tall, right? Like I'm standing on a platform, I'm still looking up to him. Okay. And he wants to get on the court. At first I'm saying no. And then I thought that was another fan, but it looked like it was another security guy saying, "Hey man, it's the dream. This is the dream here. All right. You gotta let him go out there and celebrate." And he's like, "Hey man, what do you want me to do?" And I'm not sure if you guys saw it in the video, as he's telling Hakeem Olajuwon no, there's a white woman that walked right by him and walked.
Oh man, you stole my point from me. I saw racism. That's what I saw in that video. I saw a white woman unabated to the court. She was there, and the dream couldn't get on the court. Come on.
I'm not saying she didn't belong there. She clearly belonged there, right? But dang man, this is all a bad look. Like you have this guy, you don't recognize him, but he's trying to get up there and walk. You're saying no. He's like, hold on, it's me, right? Well, I don't know who you are. Another guy comes over and says, this is Akeem Olajuwon. He's the dream. He built this program. Okay.
Hold on.
All right.
You changed the scene. I don't know how you did that.
I don't know how I did it either. All I did was play the video.
Unbelievable.
But thank you, B. I appreciate it.
Unbelievable.
But somebody's trying to tell you this is Akeem Olajuwon, right? He gets a pass. You let him go. You look around. That you can't see people holding up their phones, holding up the camera on their phones, watching you, recording you. You don't see that, and you're still like, can't let you go, buddy. Okay. Hey, all right. Maybe you just did your job, but tough luck, man. You're guilty. You can't work another sporting event, man. If you don't understand who's around you, you can't work that anymore. And there's plenty of security jobs that you can get. You can't work that job anymore. I'm sorry, Adrian. I stole your thunder.
Yeah, man, you stole it from me, man. You said everything I wanted to say. That white woman, she just breezed right by. Nobody checked ID, credentials, or anything. She just went up on the court. And I'm not saying she didn't belong there. She's probably one of the coach's wives or something of that nature.
Yeah.
And obviously she belonged on the court. But my thing is, Hakeem Olajuwon don't need no ID or credentials, bro. How many 7-foot African dudes that played in 2 national championship games with Houston and won 2 NBA titles are there in Houston? My bad, San Antonio at the time. But still, he's sitting next to Victor Wembanyama, or was that the championship game? He was sitting next to Victor.
I think it was a championship game.
That was a championship game. But even if he's not sitting next to Victor, he don't need to sit next to him. Victor wants to sit next to Akeem because that's the dream, bro. Like, you don't know who he is. Why do you have an interest in working that type of event? Maybe you just top flight security, and that security that you're doing, if you're working at Walmart or Best Buy, you're doing a bang up job, bro. But this is not that. Like, it's something completely different.
This is the comment I've been waiting for, B. I was wondering if he was going to comment on it, and here is Suge. Being a 20-year security vet, Dream is in the wrong. I knew he was going to take up for his security brethren there. Okay, I knew it was coming. You guys need to go and check the classic episode of Overtime Show where we discussed. We discussed a security story involving it was the airport security, and a football player. Very passionate discussion there.
And obviously, no, Akeem is not in the wrong. Who's in the wrong is everybody who's ever put on that fake ass badge and thought they had some power. Because that's all this was. This is a power trip. And I'm looking at an article now. The other guy was also a security member telling Akeem to go in, and this guy saying no, he can't. So
that makes it even worse.
So he's overruling the other security guard as well, and making himself a story when your entire job is to not be noticed. You ruined it for Akeem. You ruined it. No, not really, Suge. They don't have any power. But because here's the thing, Suge. If Akeem had just walked by him, what do you think would have happened? Do you think that like they would have dragged him out, or do you think that dude would have got fired?
Not only that guy would have done nothing because the other security guy was trying to get him on there. If that guy tried to actually lay hands on Olajuwon, the other security guard would have stopped him. That's why if I was Dream, I would just keep walking like that.
And this is the exact attitude of why everyone hates police and security guards in this country, because you're making it about yourself.
Hey,
there was no reason for him to try and stop Akeem from getting on the court.
The Dream didn't get in that night. I bet you got in the next night, and I bet you the other guy wasn't there.
The only reason he didn't get on the court is because he didn't want to make a scene.
Right.
Yeah, and because he's a polite and nice guy, and he doesn't use his fame or his accolades to belittle people, because a lot of other people would have said, you know who the F I am? I'm Akeem Olajuwon. Let me
I'd have done that
right now. Yeah, a lot of people in that position, bro, they would have had his job that day. I don't know if dude got fired or not, but
hey, Adrian, who was that guy? Was it Future that did that not too long ago at a game? I think it might have been Future. It was. Oh no, Travis Scott.
Mm-hmm.
It was Travis Scott. He went to go dap up a player after a game, and security tried to hold him, and he just he pushed the guy. It's like, yo, get
Oh
off
yeah, I
me.
saw that. Yeah,
And the security tried to run after him. Another security guard is like, no, let him go, whatever. Like,
yeah.
and Travis
That's
Scott is tiny.
That's LaFlame, buddy. You know who he is.
Like, if you can't stop Travis Scott. You're not stopping Hakeem if he wants to go on the court, right? No, they don't have any power. Hakeem is just a very nice person, like you said. He didn't want to make a scene, but guess what? He don't have to make a scene. You made a big enough scene, and we're all talking about you, right? And not saying I would have fired him personally. I would have fired him. You can't do something like that. But even if he's not fired, he's not working those sporting events again. You can't. I would have told him quick that I was part of the Fells Point Mafia. That's right. That's right. Fells Point Mafia in the house. I'm gonna print on some t-shirts. Fells Point Mafia. All right. He'll say, right this way, sir. My bad. So, yes, this is open and shut, man. Like,
yeah. And Suge's vote has been rescinded. This is unanimous. Top Flight Security's in the wrong.
The fact that another security guard is telling him it's okay and he said no anyway, that makes it even worse. Like, initially, I thought it was just another fan sitting there saying, "Hey, this is Hakeem Olajuwon. You gotta let him on." And he was just like, "Hey, I don't know you, but you know the guy that's the guy that you're working with. What are you arguing about?"
Right.
You know what I would have told?
The other no, go ahead, Adrian.
If I'm Hakeem Olajuwon, I would have said, "Google me, buddy." You Google me and you let me on this court right now.
I wouldn't have said anything to him. I would have walked right by him. And what was he going to do? He wasn't going to do anything.
Right. Like we talked about the white lady that walked by, right? Maybe she was somebody's wife or relative or whatever. She had less business being up there than Hakeem Olajuwon. That man built that program. Okay. He put them on the map. He has way more business being up there than anybody's family member. Okay. Credentials? No. I'm Hakeem Olajuwon. You see me, you walk, you move out the way. That's how that works.
By slamming jamming.
Right. Yeah. Right. All right. So that was an easy open and shut case. All right. We don't need a vote on that. He's guilty. He should be fired. Sorry. That's how it works. That's how it works. Sometimes, you thought you were doing the right thing and you didn't, and you don't get to keep your job. All right.
And you don't get to say you thought you were doing the right thing when your coworker told you let him up.
Facts. Just like that security guard at the airport that got 2-piece and flipped over the counter. Didn't get to keep his job either.
And fired.
All right. Let's do submitted questions, and I want to talk about a couple of sports notes, and then we'll get out of here. All right. Submitted questions now.
Submitted questions now.
Submitted questions now. All right. What do we have first?
Al says I don't agree with fire. But kind of joking about it, but no, I mean,
I'm not joking.
If you go over there, you say, "Hey, this is Hakeem Olajuwon, let him up," and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," then blah blah blah. Fine.
Yes.
But if you're making a scene about it, you're arguing about it, then you got to go. Period. Because your job is to do as you're told.
Well, not just that, right? Here's why I say fire him. That's a special moment, right? That's a special moment. Hakeem Olajuwon is an icon, right? He's a legend. He wants to go and celebrate with the team that he played for, right? You stole that moment from him because you wanted to be the big man. That wasn't a mistake. It stopped being a mistake after your colleague told you it's okay, he can go, and you decided, no, I say no, he's not going anywhere, right? Then you took your career in your own hands. Sorry.
I was like, get out of my sector, Bob.
Right.
I got it over here. All right,
And then
You see these stripes?
top flight security.
you're laying here because you work the crowd, Bob. All right, first, this is from my guy Just Allo. Will you be doing a live draft show? And if so, will it only be the first round? Why don't you answer this one, Jose?
Okay, well, I answered it at the top of the show because Coach brought it up on his show. We've been doing this the last 2 or 3 years with Coach. We simulcast, right? And he wanted to get some commitments from us. He didn't hear from us yet, but I went ahead and gave us a verbal commit. We will be doing, of course, we're going to be doing a draft show. We do it every year. Okay,
Now,
of course we are.
as we've all learned from NCAA 25, sometimes those verbal commits flip.
That never happened to me. but yes, we will. No, yes, we will be doing a live stream with the Roundup crew. All right, it'll be us, it'll be Coach, it will be Hendo, Chris just joking, and maybe there'll be a few more appearances. Maybe OTR Mike, maybe Mike from Deep Cover. All right, that's how it was. It was a lot of fun last year. I had a lot of fun. What we covered 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, something like that. All right, next up. Thank you, Just Allo.
Appreciate it.
Next up, we have a submitted question. This is from Jay. How long before the prophecy of Jokic comes true? And I'm going to say just a few months now. I'm going to say next year.
Wait. How long before? What's the prophecy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not heard? Well, I know that we were going to mention this a little bit later, but the Denver Nuggets have fired their head coach, and they are not extending their GM, Calvin Booth. And some people are upset about that. Some of the people who play for the team are upset about that. And right after that news broke, the odds came out on Nikola Jokic's next team, and the favorites are the LA Lakers.
Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
How many dudes do they need to win?
That's right.
How many IT guys does it take to get the internet on?
See, I understand your reaction there, Adrian. Right? I understand your reaction there because LeBron is so great. You forget that he's 40 years old. You think he's just going to be there forever. Right. In reality, this is a move post LeBron.
This
right?
is the future of the Lakers, Luka and Jokic.
And I think it's absolutely going to happen.
Of course. Listen, it's going to happen. And unless you're a Nuggets fan, sorry, Adelia, you should want to see this. Now, I understand if you don't want to see it in LA and that bothers you because you're not a Lakers fan because y'all are haters. Yeah. But you should want to see Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic play together. Like that's gonna be unbelievable basketball.
Wait, but hold up. This is like the reverse of the 80s because all the white dudes want the Celtics and all the black dudes want the Lakers. Now Lakers are getting all the white guys.
Now it's all the got all the
black guys. They gotta get Porzingis back.
Porzingis gotta go to the Lakers too, man.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They got a bunch of white dudes in Boston. You got Porzingis, you got Tatum, you got ugly ass Eric White.
You know all the best players are the black guys, except for Peyton Pritchard.
He taking shots.
But no, I think that. I mean, it all depends on if Jokic is upset enough about that coach being fired and wants out of Denver. But if he does, get ready for some Austin Reeves.
Man, if this does happen, we have to do a deep dive into what's going on with these teams and the decisions that they're looking to make. Because, same thing with Luka's situation. You don't trade Jokic, right? He's not asking to go, then he doesn't go. And guess what? If Jokic says, keep this coach, you keep the coach. You don't make any moves unless Jokic says.
But do they even consult him in that decision, or is that just a decision they made?
If you didn't, that's why he's going to be playing for the Lakers.
Right.
I mean, they fired this guy who won the championship a couple of years ago and has them as the 4 seed right now. They fired him 3 games before the start of the playoffs. You gave up on the season.
Do you think we're going to get more of the circumstances behind this, or it's just going to be a mystery
Yeah,
for
it'll
the
get
end of
leaked out.
time?
I'm
Yeah, it'll
sure
get leaked
something
out.
will come out at some point, but I mean, you can't fire that dude 3 games before the start of the
It
playoffs.
has to. It has to be something there, though.
Now, on
You
the flip
know.
side, if Jokic said, I don't really want to go forward with this guy, then they made the right move. You know what? Then he's gone
No,
today.
no, you still made the wrong move because you quit on the season. You
Yeah, I
tell
know.
him, listen, it's hopefully 19 more games, and then he'll be
You know
gone.
what? No, I take it back. No, I don't think it's the wrong move. If Jokic says I have a problem with him, I don't want to go forward with him, then he's gone. It's the same thing that Cleveland should have done with David Blatt when LeBron was like, I don't want him here. He needs to go ASAP. Don't go through the season and through the playoffs with a guy that LeBron does not want there, and he's telling you he's a problem.
But
Right?
should the orgs be keeping that on the hush if it is the player to kind of protect them?
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
So that's what that is. It's like the same thing in Milwaukee when Buttonholzer got let go.
Yeah.
There
Yep.
had to be Giannis behind that.
and they regret that.
But I'm saying it had to be Giannis though. Like
Yeah,
if he
absolutely.
wants him there, he's probably still there, right?
Yeah.
You would think so, but I mean, like I said, organizations have done stranger things, like the Dallas Mavericks just did.
Well, LeBron said he had nothing to do with Darvin Ham being let go, but I don't think I believe that.
A player is never going to come out and say, yes, I asked for this guy to get fired. But yeah, I got no problem with it. I got no problem with any of the moves LeBron has made. He's obviously made the right moves throughout his career, and had some teams and owners listened more, they probably would have won more.
Because they've lost 4 in a row, and two were close games. So I mean, I don't know whether or not he lost the locker room, but they've lost 4 in a row.
Jay
But
said
did you
LeBron's
see?
a liar. Every player lies about that. What player says, damn right, I asked for him to get fired? When's the last time you heard that quote?
But here's the thing about that, Jay. Yeah, he wanted Frank Vogel gone because Frank Vogel's not a great coach. He wanted Tyronn Lue, and then they didn't go get him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They hired worse coaches. So
He definitely wanted David Blatt gone.
yeah, and that was the right decision. What NBA team David Blatt coaching right about now?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Blatt should have never been the coach. He didn't want him from the jump.
And we gotta stop saying he. None of them wanted him.
Right.
It wasn't a
just said he's
LeBron thing. None of them wanted him.
We just said he's the one with the power to say, I want this guy out. Like, the other guys might not want him, but ain't nobody listening to what Mo Williams wants
If
or
all
Bobby
of
Gibson
them
wants.
say it, then you won't listen.
Yeah.
But regardless, I don't know how we spiraled on this, but we're gonna rein it back in. Submitted questions. All right, this one, my goodness, this is from Marcus. Draft. It's not even a question. I added the question at the end for him. Draft scenario: trade Oweh for a first. Trade number 27 for Chicago's 2 second-round picks. Draft O-line, then safety, then O-line, then edge with those 4 picks. Then trade Falalele and a fourth for I'm assuming he means Jalen Ramsey, and a fifth. Thoughts?
Wait.
My thoughts are never going to happen. Nobody's going to give you a first for Odafe Oweh. And now your plan is derailed.
I'm already lost here. What is
He's
going on
saying
here?
trade Oweh for a first. Okay, so
Trade
now
Oweh
you've
for-
got you've got some
so-
random first and the 27th.
Trade
Then
over
he's
first.
saying-
That's not happening.
Then he
Trade-
says trade 27 for Chicago's 2 second-round picks. Which I mean, depending where they're at, maybe Chicago would be interested in that. Depending if
I think one's
somebody-
really high. I don't think that'll work.
I don't think it would. I mean, not necessarily, but it would depend on who's there and whatever. Okay, so now you've got a first and 2 and 3 seconds because you still have your own. And then he's saying draft an O lineman in the first, then a safety in the second, another O lineman in the second, and with that last second-round pick, you take an edge rusher, and then you take Falalele because you have drafted 2 O linemen at this point. You take Falalele and a fourth, and you trade him for Jalen Ramsey and a fifth.
No.
Like, why do we always
Absolutely not.
why do we when we have these outlandish deals? It's still like shopping in the clearance aisle, right? Like, spend some money on some talent. Why we want to go through all that to get some extra lower picks and hope we hit on some guys. Get a guy past his prime in Jalen Ramsey. Why? Why can't we trade all that and then move up in the draft? Right? I would be more on board with this if you said trade all these guys and let's hope Abdul Carter falls to fourth and we could trade with the Patriots and get Abdul Carter. Right? I want y'all to think that way. That wouldn't happen either. But I want y'all to start thinking along those lines. And shout out to Red Kingdom. I see the $2 super chat. It says, hello everyone. LBHT coach did me dirty. What? What did he do?
Thank you, Ray. And to respond to Hendo here, he says LeBron tried to get Spoelstra fired before they won 2 titles. Well, that's because Spoelstra had never been a coach before, and what's Spoelstra done since?
He went to the finals twice. He just didn't win.
He got beat.
Yeah.
He got beat by LeBron, right?
Yeah, but we talk about LeBron's finals losses a lot. At least the LeBron's fans do. They love to talk about his 10 finals appearances.
No, that's just because Jordan fans like yourself like to pretend that he never lost, and then you pretend that making it to the finals is somehow worse than getting bounced in the first round. Because
6-0, baby, 6-0.
It's ridiculous. Moving on to our next question, and I'm only going to read part of this, and then I want you.
There's a question here. I wasn't sure you're going to read it, but I want you to read it because I do want to react to it.
Well, no, I was going to read part of it, and then I want you to guess who this question came from. Do you think Ben Cleveland? Okay, so let's see.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Let's see if the chat knows who that question came from. Do you think Ben Cleveland? We'll give that a couple of seconds, and then the rest of the question. Do you think Ben Cleveland can actually win a starting spot in Baltimore?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he can. Will he? Probably not. Can he? Yes, I think he's a better player than Voorhees. And if you're not going to bring in anybody to compete, I think it'll be a situation where they might just have to start him.
Ding, ding, ding. Hendo got it. Rave Kingdom. Thank you very much, Ray. Appreciate the question. No, I don't think there's a chance he wins a starting spot because they are already biased against him. You say that he's better than Voorhees. He lost to Voorhees last year. There's no reason that he won't lose to him again this season.
I got an idea. He changes his last name to Baltimore. They have to play him at that point, right?
Yeah. He lost to Voorhees, but that's because they had other options, right? Like they just, they didn't want to play him for whatever reason. They said, okay, we'll try Voorhees out, but they had another option there in Macari. When Voorhees, ultimately, predictably didn't work out.
No, right? But I'm saying, but this is all before that. They both lost the starting job to Andrew Voorhees. So that's what I'm saying. Not, will he play eventually? Saying, is he going to win the starting spot? And I don't think they're going to give him a chance to win the starting spot.
What year is this? 4 or 5?
For Ben Cleveland?
Yeah.
It is
for Cleveland.
I think this is year 4, I believe.
He just got re-signed.
4, right?
He just got re-signed.
Yeah, so I think it's year 4.
So it's year 4. I mean, what are the odds of a guy becoming a starter after 3 consecutive years on the bench?
Well, it depends on whether or not you were bad and on the bench, or if you were
in the doghouse,
duct taped to the bench.
Yeah.
I mean,
because Jonathan don't like you. It's year 5. I'm sorry.
It's year 5. Yeah. I mean, so 4 straight years on the bench, and when they brought him in, was he a second rounder or a third rounder?
He was a third rounder, and and I'm sorry, he has started 7 games, sir.
7 games in 4 seasons?
Yeah.
That's not a lot, sir.
You know what he should do? He should go and hit up WWE and see if he can replace Braun Strowman. He ain't playing football.
There's another question I hear that I know you avoided on purpose, but
no. It's the next one up. I'm pulling that up now because screw this guy anyway. But
wow,
screw you, Jeremy. What was more embarrassing, Duke's loss to Houston or Houston's loss to Florida?
Oh,
that's from Jeremy.
But my question is this: why is any of that embarrassing? Those are all good teams.
Well, it's embarrassing because Duke went 7 minutes without scoring, and John Shire said, "What's a timeout?" I don't know.
It's frustrating. Embarrassing? No, it's college basketball. No,
Listen,
I don't
listen,
think any of it's embarrassing.
listen. I was embarrassed watching it.
Well,
Your son, who was watching it with me when rooting for Duke, he was embarrassed watching it.
I was about to ask you, did he take the hat off and
Oh well,
look for a red hat?
he was rooting for Houston. From title time. but but you know what? He found himself a little shame, and he did not switch to Florida after that.
My son is when you look up Fairweather fan, his picture comes up in the dictionary, man.
Wait,
Like,
with a big old smile.
and no, he's like me. I say all the time, I'm not a Fairweather fan. Fairweather doesn't get me out the house. It's got to be good weather. I'm a good weather fan.
My man is a fan of champions.
Yes, and he will switch. He will switch mid game. Like, oh, they're not gonna win.
Adrian,
Where's my other hat here? Okay, let me put
I've
that on there.
I've never heard this boy talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. After they won the Super Bowl, my man said, they're actually kind of our home team because we're closer to them.
Yeah.
So he an Eagles fan now.
Man,
Houston's loss was more embarrassing to me because they held the ball. They're down 2. They held the ball. Dude jumped up behind the 3-point line, said, "Oh, I'm about to get blocked," and slammed the ball on the ground, and then stood there and was like, "Why don't you pick it up?"
That was like the timeout that Chris Webber called in '93 when he didn't have any. Like that. I mean, but people not talking about it like absolute choke job. Like for him to go up like that and pretty much almost travel in that situation, LJ Cryer should have taken a shot. First of all,
lean into the guy or something, right?
Come on, bro. I would almost rather him pick up the ball and make the refs call travel in that case. You know what I mean? Because who was going to be able to come pick up the ball from your team? Everybody was underneath the rim.
He said, "I was hoping somebody else was going to pick it up." Like, well, and I'm like,
nobody was near you. Bro.
Why didn't you throw it near one of your teammates then?
All right, we gotta wrap this up, y'all. We almost at 2 hours. Look, I just want to give a quick shout out to Alex Ovechkin for breaking the all-time goals record in any NHL
and doing it at the ripe old age of 73. Because if you see,
he looks older than Wayne Gretzky.
My man has had a rough life.
He's gonna get right once his career is over. He's gonna look younger again. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Adrian, real quick, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube, Press Start 410, or you can search for P Start 410. Just dropped a new video earlier today about Baltimore. Cheer.
All right. And I'll plug it one more time. LBHTShow.com. Go sign up for that newsletter. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. That's where we're going to be right now for the overtime show. You want to check it out? As little as $5 a month is how you do it. All right. B, are you ready?
Jeremy says he's almost 40. Yeah, LeBron is 40. Does he look like Alex Ovechkin to you?
No.
Tom Brady's like 46. He look like Alex Ovechkin to you? No.
Look, Ovi's gonna be fine, man. Like he's gonna dye his hair a little bit. He's gonna get his teeth fixed, and he's gonna look like he's 20 again. All right. He's gonna be fine.
Great player.
Yes.
Unbelievable career.
All right, B, are you ready?
I am ready.
B is ready. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We're close to the draft. Keep in mind what we discussed tonight, okay? Trade up. That's the message I want you to spread out in the world. Trade up. No trading back. No hoarding picks. Trade up and get a special player. All right. Patreon members, get ready. The overtime show is getting ready to start. Everybody else, have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.